As you can see, I have discus arms.
So you're about to run further than you've ever run before, and you're probably thinking, how on earth am I going to tackle that? Well, here today on the Running Channel, along with Rick and Kate, we're going to give you some top tips on how to get through those long runs.
That's right, we're going to cover music, mind games, making friends, mantras and maths.
The long run is a staple of training programs from middle distance all the way through to marathon. They build strength, endurance, and they help you to deal with tired legs. Depending on what you're training for, a long run might be anything up to 3 hours, perhaps even longer.
Runners have a bit of a love-hate relationship when it comes to the long run. We love the feeling of accomplishment when we get to the end of it, but there can be some nervousness about actually getting out there and getting it done.
There are psychological benefits too. Long runs build up a mental toughness in you. And when the race day comes, it makes you more prepared, so you know what's been before and you think, I've been there, I've done that, and I'm ready to go.
If you like to listen to something when you go running, maybe music or an audiobook or a podcast, then putting together a really decent playlist or maybe downloading something that you're really excited to listen to can be great motivation to get you out on your long run. You can check out the Running Channel's playlist over on Spotify to give you some inspiration. And science actually backs this up as well. Research shows that listening to music while you're running can actually change your perception of how hard you're working and increase your endurance by around 10 to 15%.
If it's music you're going for, then try to pick upbeat music with a quick tempo, something around 160, 180 BPM that will help keep your cadence up. A great tip from runners we've spoken to is to build different playlists for different types of run. So a long, slow, more chilled playlist for your long, slow run, and quicker, more upbeat stuff for your speed work.
And as well as distracting you from the task at hand, music can also be a potential hazardous distraction from what's going on around you, so people and cars. And don't be too dependent on music as well, because your battery could go down on the day, or you might find out that you're in a race where headphones are banned. Now this may be a case where they're banned altogether, or it's just bone conducting ones that are allowed. These are ones that still let you hear your surroundings around you, so do check the terms and conditions before you turn up for your race. UK Athletics, for example, well, they don't allow headphones in any races where the roads aren't completely closed to all traffic. Check before you turn up and don't flout the rules, you could be disqualified. When you find yourself overwhelmed by the size of the task you're undertaking, try break it down into smaller, more digestible steps. Run the mile you are in. More on this in our tip about maths.
I like to play distracting games on my long runs, something like It Could Be Worse, or my personal favourite, What's That Dog's Name? So just naming random dogs with the names that they look like. Oh no, he doesn't look like a Max, he looks like a Lawrence. It's my favourite thing to do, but it keeps your brain distracted and not thinking on the task at hand.
Join a running club or community on social media so you can meet up with runners who have similar goals to what you do, preferably on distance and pace. Having company on those longer runs will mean that you'll meet up, chat and talk conversationally on those longer runs, which will help you steady your pace. It will also make it more likely that you'll get out when you're supposed to and less likely to can it when you're not feeling up to it.
Or you could find a friend who will cycle alongside you during your long runs to help keep you on your pace. But as with music, don't become too dependent on one particular type of crutch, whether it's your friend on your bike or your headphones, because during the race itself you might not have that there to rely on and you're going to have to work through all by yourself.
So mix it up, do some of your long runs solo, do some with a group, and then you get the benefits of both.
A mantra, or an instrument for thinking, is used in meditation as a way of focusing the mind, and that's exactly what it can do when you run. But in order to be effective, a mantra has to encapsulate the feelings you want to have, not the negative thoughts that you're trying to overcome.
Yeah, for it to work, a mantra needs to be short, sharp, positive and full of action words.
So here are some of your favourites. Just keep running, Be bold, be brave, one foot in front of the other. And a personal favourite of mine from ultra runner Steve Way, don't be I challenge you to go out on a long run and not do any maths at all. Now, you could be like me and be absolutely terrible at maths.
Been on the go for 4.5 hours, and I think that's about a third of the way there. But I think the heat's getting to my head because now I keep getting cross that I can't work out what 18 times 3 is.
But your long run lends itself really nicely to doing loads of maths. How far you've come, how far you've got left, how far you're going overall. Whatever it is, playing around with numbers can really help keep you distracted.
Break down your long run, something like this. Half marathon, it's basically only 10 miles with a bit added on, right? 10 miles, just 5 miles out and 5 miles back, and 5 miles is totally doable. If you see runners wiggling their fingers on a run, maybe they're trying to get their circulation going, or maybe they're trying to count how many miles they've got left.
So there are our top tips on getting out there and getting through that long run. Music, mind games, make friends, mantras, and maths. Choose what works for you. It might be just one or two or a combination of those things together. We know some days just getting out the front door is the hardest thing. But with these tricks at your fingertips, you'll be well armed to get out there and get it done. Don't forget to subscribe to the running channel, and we'll see you next time.